Hello, I'm Czardus. Grab some coffee, sit back, and chill as we play Europa Universalis V. Welcome back to my beginner's guide. This will be episode 2, part 2 of 3 in the series. Today we are going to have the game go along, and we are going to just kind of see how things go, essentially, and deal with things as they come up, because that's how this game is played. That is what you do. It's really a reactionary game. You can make plans all you want, but it's really how you adapt to different things that happen in the world. And so first of all, we've got our cabinet members are working over here on assimilating culture into, or like assimilating different populations into our culture. And I think I mentioned last time, I like to get them to above 90% and then continue elsewhere. So let's go ahead, and they're above 90% now, so we can go on and move them to other locations. And we can do that for both of them really quick. Let's deal with that measles outbreak in a moment. First, we'll just come in here and get this other cabinet member set up. Okay, so they are doing that now. An outbreak in Santander of measles, and they're going to have a prosperity hit there, which unfortunately is going to have them be devastated. And we've got diplomats that we can use. I think we'll go ahead and not too many things I want to do with them. One thing I do want to do is I want to come down here to Morocco, and we're going to start to build a spy networks. So we'll go to covert actions and we'll click build spy network and hit OK. So each month our spy network will get a little bit higher. And what I really want to do with that is when they get to 40, I want to start to steal their maps if we can. And so that is how I want to do my early exploration. We do have the game doing a lot of construction, but we are building a couple of caravels. That is something that I queued up in the last part of this beginner's guide. Okay, those caravels are one of them is done, the other one is not, but I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our navy. So we have 3 navies here. We've got a group of light ships and then 2 groups of galleys, and they're all defending these areas. And what I want to just make sure is these are our rivals down here, and I want to keep an eye on their navy. So they have no navy, which means to me that if they were to start to attack us, we can easily knock them out. And so that's really what I'm paying attention to. I want to just make sure that we have a navy strong enough to do that. And we could potentially build just a wall of ships along here. We have 9 now, and they can take out pretty much any transport. Although, one thing to keep in mind is cogs do have cannons. So even though they get defeated pretty easily, they do still have a hull size of 9, and they have 3 cannons, so they can do damage. So it's not a guarantee if you have 1 ship against a cog. It is not quite a guarantee. But we do have quite a bit of nice stuff going on here. And we do have, if you hover over this, if you have market right now, you can see that trade capacity, we're not at complete 0. So we're making some progress in trading. And the Burgos market, we are not, though. So we want to see that capacity get bigger, but we're also not making a ton of money right now. So what I really want to do is I want to just see our internal economy get better and better. Unfortunately, it's not going to be great for a while. Okay. So we've got another pop-up here. Our king had another child, so we can change the name of the child, or we can just hit OK. And I went with hitting OK. So, I mean, he's up to 7 children now, which, I mean, it's not too uncommon for this time period, but I'm really concerned about this economy. And the issue for Castile early on is that there's a really big population, but it is very rural. If you look at this, you've got, come on, there we go. You've got a ton of peasants, and they're really not very fancy. We've got don't need to have that army up there. I'm going to empty that. I don't need to see it on the control group. If you come into your population, you can see they're really spread out. And so like even like our capital, I can't really see it because a bunch of people are moving to the capital right now, but that's not the capital. That our capital is over here, but the market center is where the people are moving. Okay, so now we've got another pop-up here, opposing military schools. So we can select attack is always the best option, and we will move our values toward offensive, which we're currently set to offensive. And if you hover over that, you can see what we can get. Right now we get army movement is increased, but the forts are not as strong, or we can have it move to defense, which I think we want to keep it at offensive. We'll go ahead and shift a little bit more in that direction. So yeah, a lot of people are moving to the market centers right now, or actually to the capital here, not as many moving to Sevilla. But that is really our challenge, is that we have a very rural economy right now, and we want to see a little bit more resources getting developed so that we are actually trading out. Come down here to raw materials. You can see we've got a lot of farmland, we've got a ton of livestock in our market, and then some wheat, which is good. Oh, look, we researched organized religion, so we can get more clerics in the towns, and more importantly, the clergy maximum literacy is increased. Legumes, wheat, stone, lots of pretty cheap stuff here that also is available elsewhere. But we've got a huge balance in that. So yeah, the price is going down because we've got a big supply. Price of other stuff is going up because we have demand for it. I'd like to see us get more fish, actually. So for fish, we could come in here and we can come down to a fishing village, which it says we should build one in Huelva and Sanlúcar de Barrameda and Niebla. And those, it will not have a ton of profit, but what I'm really after with this is that will increase the trade capacity, increase the local food capacity, and it'll produce some fish. So if we do fishing village, and I already forgot what it said where we should build them, so we're gonna go back and check that again. Huelva, Sanlúcar, okay. Let's find those. I'm not seeing either of them again. It's interesting that neither of the things that I've tried to build so far in this beginner's guide will even show up here. But what I think I'll do, yeah, none of these will be very effective, actually. So if you sort by gold, you can see what will be effective, or like will be most profitable. And the game is already selecting a lot of those. Market village would be good. Palencia, Tordesillas. But again, here's Palencia. We can get a market village here. Take 1,000 peasants, but that'll be good. I don't remember what the other one was. We can build that in a lot of places, though. That was a market village, which now we've got one going. Let's get another one. So that is going to increase the trade advantage and also get some more workers up there, and just do a whole bunch of different stuff as well. Tordesillas, we can sort by, actually, you would think that it would be up high on that, but we can sort by the name of the location, and then it goes in alphabetical order. So we'll just come down here, Tordesillas. Here we go. Get one queued up there. Just let those two things go. The other thing you can do is, in order to increase control, you can come into the road builder and you can select to build roads, and that will reduce the proximity cost. That's the biggest thing. But I don't want to do that because I don't want my capital to be here long term, so I don't want to waste the money on that. We do have inflation, so we're going to have to lower our minting a tiny bit to have that go away. And our minting is getting even worse. We need gold. We need gold and silver, and we don't have that like anywhere in our market. Yeah, see, that really increases the pressure that gets put on us to colonize because we need stuff like silver and gold, and we're not finding it in our own market. So colonization, we need to explore, but the exploration is going to be really expensive, and that's one reason why I'm just building up the spy network to try and steal maps. I'm hoping that if we get Morocco, we can steal maybe a map of this area. Portugal is another one to steal as well, but we'll go ahead and build a spy network there and see if they will have a map for us. We want to get out here. These are going to have fish and other stuff, probably. We have rumors of islands being out there. But of course, we don't have a map there, so we can't see it for sure. So while we're waiting for more stuff to happen, another thing to look at is the map. So if we come in here to stuff like the climate will play into where people want to live. So like here, the local wheat output is down, available land is attractive, yes, but the supply limit is lower, and there is a maximum winter level, which will reduce the food production and attrition. Whereas the Mediterranean, the local population capacity is 150% higher, and there's no winter at all. So that area will be very good. Oceanic is also going to have a population increase. So we're going to have trouble getting people to live in these areas. And of course, the game starts with our capital right in the middle of a cold area. So, I mean, on one hand, that makes it more defensible because it's up here. We've got mountains around it, so you can see why maybe it would be preferable. But in general, again, I still think I want to have my capital be down here so that we can have better control. The other thing we could do is we could split out into smaller vassals, which could be a way to go right now. If we come into relations and go to current relations and then create subjects, we could create 2 nations there, or we could create a custom subject. I think what I want to do long term is I want to move the capital down there, and then I want to create 2 vassals here. They're of different cultures though, and that actually could be a way to handle some of the culture. But speaking of that, we can come in and our cabinet member can go to a different location now, and generally we are I think we're off to a pretty good start. We're seeing stuff improve a bit, and we've got our market villages getting built. That should be good too. Right now we're not doing much more construction because we don't have as much money, which I think legitimacy, we can lower our investment on that a little bit. And the same thing with stability. We're up to 38 stability. We'll lower this to about 0.15, which will get that income a bit higher. Everything else, there isn't too much to do. How diplomatic spending we could lower as well. I don't plan on needing a diplomat anytime soon, so that should help a little bit. So I was just looking around on the map, and I just noticed Morocco took over some of Granada, which is interesting. The other thing is that they, you might recall, we started the game and they were at war with this nation. It looks like Morocco has taken over this area from them. So that is another interesting factor here. Granada, of course, they don't like us, and at some point we're going to need to go to war with them. But really, I want to stay out of wars for a while because we really got to build up that income. And like Morocco, their tab space is significantly lower than ours. Our tab space is, where is tab space here? 170. Morocco is only 65. So if we continue to build that up, we can get really far. Okay, so we have another pop-up here. Who wants to build a hunting ground? Regionally renowned, a book? Yep, we gain a book of hunting. Wild game output goes up, which, do we have any wild game resources? No, so that's like useless. I don't see any spots that are wild game. That is really annoying. We get a nice boost to that production, but we don't have anywhere that produces it. So that's a bummer. But we can come in here and we can create a court. Now, we want to be moving towards, actually, I think we want to move towards decentralization, because then we can have our vassals and they will be easier to take care of, and colonies as well. So if we were to click on Valladolid, then that's our capital, and the clicking here would move us towards centralization. But if we go somewhere else, like Burgos, where we only have 51% control, but I don't think that matters too much for this. We'll just go ahead and have it there. And that will move us towards decentralization. And what we want to do is we want to find something. This shows what our estates want to do and what we have a lot of support for already. They're going to be easier to get without giving any promises. So I think we'll choose one of these two. Let's go ahead, and I don't want to have Granada get happier with us. We'll do this one. We'll gain army tradition. We'll host the army exercises. And so we'll hit OK. Currently, it is not going to pass, which is unfortunate, because if it fails to pass, we'd take a -7 hit, which stability hit. It'll cost us 7 stability. So what we can do is we can come down here and we can grant different things. So like if we click on this one, we will gain antagonism centered on Valladolid, but we will move towards belligerent, which if we highlight that, we can see what that will do. Right now we're having opinion impact is increased, but antagonism when we take land goes down, which is really useful. If we were to go the other direction, then it would be significantly harder to take stuff. Of course, the cabinet would be more useful, but I think this would be an okay thing to take. Now, the church will be a little bit less happy, but they're pretty happy, and so are they. So let's go ahead and do that. Click on that, and that will add 75% to our support. So now that is likely to pass. And another thing has popped up. Our cabinet member is disagreeing with the king and did so in public. So we could say, well, yeah, no, you had a good point, but we would lose 10 legitimacy to that. Or we could say, off with your head. We'll do that. So now, of course, we have to pay to hire a new cabinet member, and they're not as effective. So there were downsides to doing that, but I don't know, role-playing wise, it made sense that, like, don't disagree with me, I'm the king. Yeah. And so we go ahead and do that. You can role-play a little bit in this game. It is a lot of fun to do that sort of thing. But it's also fun to just go around and see what is happening. So, like, up here, Scotland at the beginning of the game was in a civil war, and Scotland won the civil war. France helped them out because France is guaranteeing Scotland. And also England is doing okay. This war between them, the 100 Years' War, is just a couple of years in, and I don't think they've had any actual battles yet. Yeah, the actual war comes in different stages, and we're not even at stage 1 yet, but it's fun to look around and see how things are going with all of that. All right, we've got another thing. This comes up sometimes during a parliament or court, and we can do this to fine them. We would get money out of it, but at the cost of stability. Or we can say there's nothing we can do about it and just lose prestige. I think we'll go ahead and take the stability hit because we have the support that we can handle that, and we could use the money. So, I mean, that's like 10 months worth of money, which it's not 10 months worth of stability, but it is worthwhile. The other thing I want to do is I want to go into Navarre, and we're going to send a diplomat there to improve relations with them because they don't like us, but I want to maybe add them as a friend. Really, I mean, we want to have as many friends as we can. Eventually, we're going to want to take over Granada. And we've got measles again in the area. Not too much, not too bad. So all of that, we're doing fine. We have assimilated enough here in Murcia. We can go in and move to a different spot, and we're seeing a little bit of increase in our overall culture. And generally, we're just working on getting more and more and more population in our main culture here. We're really trying to influence those areas. But this is really what we want to aim at. I mean, so if we wanted to take Granada, what we would do is we would come here to declare war. And doing that, we can go with no casus belli. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a moment. And if you hover over this, you can see the cost. Gotta move the mouse right. You can see the different things that this one will give us. So we can have conquer cost at plus 50% or subjugate at plus 30%. 0 for all of the stuff for the defender. They can come and conquer us if they are able to, and they won't have any cost in the war score when trying to make peace. Or we could create a casus belli, and each of these different reasons for going to war come with different benefits. If we were to go with a trade conflict, which would require different things, like we would have to have, first of all, the spy network in Granada in order to create the false reason for war. They have to create, make it seem like it's a legitimate thing to do. And we don't have that. But if we did, then we would have a conquer cost for the attacker and a subjugate cost that is significantly higher. This one would have a much lower if we were able to do a religious war, but religious war would also be impossible right now because we haven't researched this, which is available in Renaissance, which we are not currently in the Renaissance, so of course we can't do that. Excommunicated ruler, then it becomes even easier, but I don't think that we can excommunicate them because they are not a Catholic country. And then disrupting trade and anti-piracy, those are also things that would have really bad subjugation costs. So really what we're going to want to do is go without any casus belli, and this might be a good time to do it, actually, because they don't have any allies. We might want to do it. We're going to take a look at this really quick. So things are slipping out of control, and we can revoke this privilege, which currently gives them population promotion speed, which means that people can move up and down the social ladder, or I guess only up the social ladder. And we're progressing towards free subjects, which free subjects is a value versus serfdom. And right now we're moved closer to serfdom, which means that we can tax them and they eat food and stuff like that. Really, I prefer free subjects because then they eat less and they can promote faster and prosperity goes up faster as well. So I do want to revoke that, and then we would grant this one to the Lord. Stability decay would go down and we would move towards aristocracy, which right now we are heading in that direction already. It will cost us 7 stability, which will make it harder to go to our war. Or we could say not to change it. I think we'll go ahead and change it. We have 25 stability, so we should be able to go to war pretty quickly here. And in fact, our economy is doing quite a bit better. Let's go ahead and do this while they have no allies. So select that, and we cannot declare war because we don't have a diplomat. Well, that's a bummer. Let's go ahead and kick our diplomatic spending up. So it'll take us a few months to be able to do that. So you may have noticed that in here we have +4. That's what we're getting into our diplomatic spending. That is our investment here. You can see that +4 right there. We got a +1 as the base value, so we're at +0.5, but we're spending diplomatic points to develop the spy networks and our opinion improvement. So we're really only getting +0.1. So it'll take us about 10 months to get a diplomat ready. But that means Granada, if they are smart, they are going to be trying to make allies as much as they can. That was our parliament has done, and we should be good. We finished some research here. We have classic scholasticism, so institution growth is increased. This is still minting. We're not doing good with minting. by any chance, does Granada have gold? No, they don't. They have marble, saffron, wheat, aluminum. Yeah, nothing super useful, but it will be worthwhile to get that war as soon as we get to have a diplomat available. I found silver in our land, so we've got some up here, and we have it at level 2 already, which means that we're already employing 2,000 out of the 2,000 laborers available. You can see them here. And if we come in here and we want to get some stuff here that will increase the number of laborers, unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to really get us what we want. So, like, we could have a market village or a forest village. Probably cheaper to build the forest village, I assume. How much does it cost? 33 to build that. Actually, they're the same. Let's go ahead and build the forest village. We'll build 2 of them. So it will promote some of the peasants. And, I mean, it's going to add a little bit more there, but not enough. Okay, look at that. We're going to look at that later. Because right now, we can come into Granada and get our war started. I'm going to go ahead and declare war. Pause the game. When you declare war, immediately pause the game. So you could come here to your levies and raise your levies. We're going to do raise all, and that's going to get all of our troops coming up. And we also want to come over here to our navy, and we're going to change them to blockade ports. They're going to come over and blockade right away. And we've got our regulars here. What I want to do is we're going to actually move our regulars back a little bit so that they don't get attacked before we get our levies done. So now what I want to do is just highlight all of our armies like that, clicked and dragged with my left mouse, and then I'm going to right click on our regulars army. Now all the levies, you can see here, they have the join to unit objective. So they're going to march to this army, our first army, and they're all going to join that army and become a giant army. And that will get us prepped a bit for this war. Now, we are losing 10 gold, and this is called the First War of Castilian Aggression, because we are fighting them, and we already had a battle there. Our navy fought a little battle. See, look at that. They have 8,000 troops coming to fight us. We're going to move away as soon as we can, because we don't want to fight them yet. I think they're going to fight us anyway. Yep, we didn't get away in time, but we have the advantage. We won that battle, and we got war score. So war score, I'll pause it again for a moment. We can take a look at our war view here. We have our war score, and that just shows you who is winning, is the first thing. And you can click on Sue for Peace, and that war score will play a role here. You have to have at least 10% in order to demand anything from them. And you can see down here, if we sent a peace treaty right now, they would not accept, so it won't even let us send it. But you can see war score is a major factor in that. So the higher the war score we have, the more stuff we can demand from them. Like, we want to take both of their provinces, and we can't even click on that one because we need to occupy it before we could take it. So we can't do too much with that yet, but we're going to go ahead, and this army is now big enough. We can pause, and we're going to give them an objective. We're going to tell them to focus the siege in Granada, which focus siege will mean that they will siege forts first. So there's a fort here in this city down here, and that fort, that castle, has a zone of control. So if you go over to one of these, it probably, actually neither of these are within the zone of control for some reason. But in essence, the forts control other areas. So like here, this one has a zone of control, and you can hover over that and it controls all of that. Yeah, there we go. So that is all under that fort's zone of control. If we siege any of these territories, it will not take them over. So actually, if we do a focus siege, they'll come down here and they won't have any supply lines to give them food. So I think what we need to do, actually, I think we're going to have to do that anyway, because we can't take any of these territories. It'll have an issue, but we have a ton of troops. They don't. And actually, we're going to take, say, these ones. Let's grab this and bring it over here. And the rest of these, we're going to have join this other army. We're going to come here with this army. We'll get a new commander, Alfonso de Guzman. And this army is going to have a new task. They're going to come over here, and I want them to attack as much as possible. So this, now we have a siege going on here, and a siege every so often like this, it's going to take about 3 weeks now before it does another dice roll, and you can see these are different dice that it's going to do. This, I want this to be blockading here, because this is a -1, because it is technically saying that it's not blockaded, even though it should be. It's not counting the blockade. I don't know why. So it just won't work. But I do want to have this army is supposed to be coming over here. I want them to really chase down these troops and destroy the Granada army. That battle is going on, and our siege is over here. So after a while, it'll roll the dice and see, okay, we got a huge war score for that one. We're going to pause for a moment. And we got Alfonso de Guzman got a new trait. Army attrition goes down. So the siege is going to roll the dice, and it's going to take a sit, or like it'll have the dice roll, and then it will have -2 to that for the castle, and then -1 to that too. So it may have a 4, then it rolls a 1. And from that, then we can see if we go, where does it show the options here? I don't remember where it shows what the options are of what will happen, but essentially it's going to roll the dice, and it will determine a variety of things will happen. Oh, here it is. So if we get a 1, then it has, we're going to have different dice rolls, and it's going to have different things. So it's going to roll between a 1 and a 14, and then modify it by -3, and then it's going to give us a range of where a point in there, and stuff will happen, and the supply shortage will cause the garrison down here to lose some strength, and eventually we will win the siege. But in the meantime, we're working on chasing these troops so that we can kill them off and get a nice boost to our war score, and also be able to siege more areas without worrying about their troops attacking us. This alert up here is for unraised naval levies, but the naval levies are just fishing boats that can transport troops. So I think we just killed all of their troops. Yep, they have 0 left. If we went to sue for peace, yeah, we can't take that. And they're really mad, but we have a lot of war score now. So that is getting better. So now we've killed off all their troops. Why is this army not part of the other army? Well, whatever. We're going to come here, and we're going to tell them to carpet siege Granada, which means they're going to divide out, split up, and siege as much territory as possible at once, and just start taking over the country. We're controlling what is going on. So while this one is focusing on the fort here, which will have all of these areas under its control, all of the other areas not under control of the fort are going to get sieged and taken over by other parts of the army. So you can see that is happening right now, and we will make quick progress here. Now we've won a siege over here, so we have enough of that, and actually you can see there are territories under control of this town too. So a town without a fort can have some zone of control as well, and this is just a ticker that over time that will fall under control too. Now we've got another event popped up here. This is stuff we can do. Wool locations can get permanent merino wool modifiers, which will lower nobles' power and clergy power and lower local food production, but the lords and the clerics will go up. Or we could say refuse it, and they will take a big hit to satisfaction. I think we'll go ahead and say brilliant, yep, and take that. By the way, this is a dynamic event just for Castile, and you can tell because it gives us, there's a little book that says that in history they chose this option. We'll go ahead and do that too. So now, our peace deal, we would seize all of Granada, which we don't really want to do that, because seizing it would make it part of us, and we would have to be trying to control it. Instead, we're going to do Granada becomes a vassal. That is what we want to do, and they would do it right away. They would become our vassal, and you can see that would cost us 62 peace cost, which peace cost comes down to here. Well, peace cost gets calculated in here. They're gonna want to do everything. They're pretty much under our control right now. Like, no matter what we do, they're going to accept our stuff, I believe. Yeah, but peace cost essentially is a subtraction from your war score and other factors. So we're going to go ahead and enforce this. You're going to become a vassal, but before we do that, we're going to take as much money from them as we can, because we don't get a ton of money when they are a vassal. They will pay us a little bit of their tap space, but I think about 20% of their tap space will come to us. But this is going to be a big thing. Okay, so now they are a vassal. If we come down to diplomacy here, you can see that green is stuff under our control. So they are now our vassal. And if we come up here to diplomacy, we now have a subject. Looking at this view, so they don't have a good opinion of us. So right away, we want to come in here and we want to improve opinion right away, because we want our vassals to be happy with us. This is their loyalty. Their subject opinion, because it is so low, then that is reducing their loyalty to us. But we do have good diplomatic spending, and decentralization gives us a boost to their opinion as well, and so does the ruler's diplomatic ability. So we're going to right now and this shows how much money we get per month. We get 1.33 from them, which in the balance here you can now see diplomacy. We get 1.33 per month from our vassal. And the next thing we want to do is come in here and we're going to right click on raise levies, because that will disband all of the levies and just leave us with our regulars left. And then we can lower our costs again. These are all things you want to do when you get out of war, and we can lower our diplomatic spending as well. Let's try to keep that. Actually, we can't lower it too much because we have to maintain a lot of stuff. Stability is pretty low right now, so we'll keep going at that. And actually, we are losing money right now, which is not ideal. But we'll get our navy back on patrolling the sea, and they were here. We don't know which one was on which spot. We'll go ahead and do that. And hopefully our income balances out, because we don't want to go bankrupt. But we don't really have too many options here. We're having to buy a lot of food right now, and that is an issue. It's costing us 4. The fort maintenance is really a lot. Okay, income. Yeah, now we're not buying as much food. That made a big difference. These guys, our army can go back to suppressing rebels. And I am quite concerned about that income here. But now we are back at a good level, because army maintenance went down, I believe, or, stuff changed. Okay, Morocco has joined a coalition against us, which just means that, yeah, Granada and Morocco, Granada is really mad, and so there is a coalition against us right now, but I'm not too concerned about that, because we are improving the opinion of them, and over time, they are going to like us. Let's take a look at the market too. So right now, half of their stuff, they are in a couple of different markets. Eventually, I want them to be in our market, and we're also, if we come here to our cabinet again, we can see now, actually, I don't think we can't do anything to their culture. We can't change that at all. So what we could do is we could come in there and we could go to subject actions and we could tell them here, we could do enforce culture, and they would have to have their primary culture be ours, but it would give them 100 liberty desire, and they would be even less loyal than they are. So right now we're just going to let them be, and we'll work on improving that opinion, and hopefully our diplomats can smooth things out. And in the meantime, we'll continue working on, diplomatic spending is a lot, but Granada is going to be the most important. Navarre, I want to make sure we improve, and Portugal too. Portugal over here, they consider us a rival, and I wish that would end, because I want to, if they didn't consider us a rival, they would ally with us right now. We could do Defensive League, which is kind of like an alliance. We can't call them into one of our wars. If we go to war on offense, if we're the attacker, we can't make them or ask them to join. But if we get attacked, or if they get attacked, they would join the war. So let's go ahead and try to do that. That's going to cost us a thing. Now, I think they may have joined that. Yep, they did. And this one, our daughter gained the idiot trait. So she's not going to have very good skills, which is unfortunate. Oh, and they disbanded right away. Portugal, yes, we're a rival of them, and so they will not stay in that with us, which is really annoying. Also, they are in a civil war. You come here, they have a pretender civil war, which their pretender is not going to win that, but it is interesting to see that. Now, they checking on everything here. We could, let's go ahead and we'll back out of improving the opinion in England, because we aren't going to want to ally with England. Actually, just a moment here. If we ally with England, we might get called into the 100 Years' War, and we don't want to do that. So we have this again. We can move further towards offensive. I think we'll go ahead and do that. So this came up again to just remind us that we can find better stuff. Now, this is our idiot daughter. I think we'll just leave that unbalanced. And then, yeah, she's the only one that's going to come up as, so I really don't want to pay attention to her. And minting is still terrible. How is that one province doing? I think it was this one is doing silver. Is that right? Infrastructure? Nope, that's wine. Here it is. They're getting a little bit more laborers. We're working on building. I don't want to invest too much in that. I wish we could get that silver up, but we're not going to have the money to really expand that. Okay, so now we have a young preacher coming, and we can send him to our to the Papal States and gain religious influence, or we can gain prestige and have him stay here. We'll do that one. Portugal is winning their civil war, no surprise there. Really, I want to get this from Morocco eventually, but for now, and I think the one problem we're going to have is that we're going to have to take over. But what I think we'll do, if we go by culture, if we go to war with Morocco and we take these provinces, we can give them to Granada, and that will keep them satisfied. All right, so now we have reached the age of Renaissance. So the other one is over, I think, Age of Traditions, I think was what it was called. And we can choose a focus here. So if we choose administrative, we will gain access to all of this stuff right away. If we do diplomacy, we'll get this stuff right away. And if we choose military, we'll get this stuff. I think I want to do this one because we will get some pretty good stuff here. Market attraction will go up. Claim fabrication, we can create cast a spell faster, which I don't really care about. But we can get, we'll get improved, like our tributes will do better. Yeah, I don't think we want to do any of the local infrastructure. Proximity cost would be lower, which would be good. Yeah, we'll do diplomatic. That's really what I'm leaning into in general. So now resolution. So this is a thing from the Catholic Church. We hover over that, we can see what this is. So essentially we will gain the state's satisfaction equilibrium will go up. So it's a good thing to vote for that. Pretty much any of the things that come up here, you can vote yes to. I find Morocco has guaranteed Granada. So if for some reason we go to war with Granada, then Morocco will come and fight on their behalf. And I want to know, we're much stronger than Morocco. I am a little bit tempted to go to war, but we don't have the stability. If we could get the stability, once we get, what was that, 2022 or was it 25? 24.97 stability, then we will go to war, and we're gonna aim to take this and give it to Granada. But also, I don't want to do that until Granada lights us. Now, this one here is Granada, minus 167. So that will go down. 97 of that is from war, and in about 50 years, that will be completely gone. And plus 12 every year, every month that goes up by 1, and that will improve that too. So one thing we could do is we could force them, we come in here to friendly, subject actions. We could ask them to improve their cultural opinion, but not until they're loyal to us. And they are not going to be loyal for a little while yet. Come back here, manage subjects. They're at 37 subject loyalty. We really got to get that subject opinion up higher. So an institution has appeared in Genova, banking. So that is pretty much, we come into the research tree here. We can see that banking is one of these here under, here, banking. So that is an institution, and once we can accept that, or embrace it is the word, then that part of the tree will unlock. In the meantime, we can be researching some of the stuff over here. We're still working on Age of Traditions. We have 9 more technologies on here that we're trying to get, and then we'll be done with that, and then we can work on in here, which there will be some good stuff in here. I want to get over here, cultured overlordship. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, because that is going to eventually give us a boost to how Granada views us. And of course, I think I mentioned I want to move the capital down here, and then we can make vassals out of Leon and Galicia. And then that will improve some of our stuff too, because right now, control outside of the capital area is really not great. 16%, because satisfaction is not great. Population is a little bit unhappy. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Population in general, that is not going to your population. Satisfaction. So like in Toledo, they are lacking some stuff, and that's really going to be an issue. And that's probably going to be an issue here. Renaissance is unlocked as well, where it appeared another institution. One reason why we're going to want to go to expand into colonies is to get those resources. And eventually, I mean, our market could help with that, because we're really needing to get fruit and grains and fish. Fish, we should be able to get through fishing markets, especially now that we have Granada. I would think that Granada is going to start to get more fish into our market. Yeah, because now they have a little bit more of their land is in our market, whereas before they were in these ones instead. The other thing is that building roads will increase the power of our market. If we connect Sevilla to other parts, other areas, then the market from there will be stronger as well. Now, we can have them lose state satisfaction. Portugal will lose opinion of us, or we can lose legitimacy. Which, legitimacy, we have a lot of crown power, and I don't want to lose that much. But, yeah, all right, we'll do that. Portugal gets mad, and the nobles are not so happy right now, but that's okay. Naval Supplies Guild is being built. We're assimilating. We are really just kind of in a stable position right now. Now, this is a big thing. So we just finished researching peasant connections, which will lower the cost of purchasing food, which will be good. It should help with some of our population satisfaction. I'm just looking at some other things that we could do for our cabinet. We could have them increase some stability, which would get us closer to the war that I want to do. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to stabilize, which is going to increase our stability a little bit. Now here, glory for the de Bourgogne. This is our dynasty. We can gain prestige or legitimacy. Let's go prestige. Yeah, that'll increase our cultural influence, and our market attraction. That is really what we want, because I want to get that market a little bit better. I want to have cultural influence a little bit stronger so that maybe we can offset the cabinet not focusing on culture and they're focusing on stability instead. Well, speaking of stability, we have a surplus in cash now, so I'm going to go ahead and crank that up to the max because I want to get this territory as soon as we can. Primarily because I think, one, it'll be good to not have Morocco over here, but also that's not what I wanted. I wanted to see they've got fish, and we need fish in the market. Fish and sugar. There's some fiber, some fish in Granada, but not a lot. Getting these provinces here, there's 3 of them that have fish. That would really be helpful. We don't have... Let's see, we've got some up here in Galicia, and a little bit along there too, but really this would be a significant boost, I think. Horses and livestock, we don't really care for it, but the sugar, I think, would come in handy. Do we have... Doesn't say. I want to see sugar. What was the icon for sugar? Let's just go this way. Sugar. So we currently... The supply is equal. But fish, we have a... professional armies has done a deficit of fish in both of our markets. So on rice... Actually, we have enough fish in the Burgos market, but we don't. Here's fish, but we don't have it down here in Sevilla, so we need to get that territory. We have another pop-up here. We've got encroachment of the Recombria in Badajo, whatever. Okay, so we can let it slide, and we lose some control there, or we lose estate satisfaction, which they're already mad. We're going to lose the control. I'm on... high speed right now. You can see how fast that speed is. Days are going by really, really quick, as opposed to here. It's like this one, the hours go by individually. It's so fascinating how different the speeds can be. This one's like 24 times faster. So I've paused it because I just noticed that we have our spy network is up to 44 in Morocco. So we're going to come down here and I want to steal maps. So look at that. So it highlights when there is one you can steal, and look at all these maps we can steal from them. Most of these are actually going to be over in this area, which I don't care about, but these I do. For Egypt, get this one here. Now they're not going to get... I was hoping to get here. They won't steal that. We'll get this one for now. All right, so we have all of this now, and we could potentially build a spy network here and steal more. Like, they might have more information down that way, which we're not going to change it because we don't have the diplomat to send to theirs. So for now, we'll just keep doing Morocco. And we're also trying to get Portugal. Portugal might have some of these ones down here, or they might have one of these explored. Probably not yet, but we'll see. Got another pop-up, and we can have the Burgacia, which are at 50%. They can lose 10%, and we gain prestige. Or we can move towards plutocracy. Okay, so plutocracy, eventually the burghers get more power. Trade efficiency goes up, which would be nice. I would like that. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's move towards that. Maybe we can help. They'll get happier, and we'll get closer to that a little bit. So I paused because I just noticed that Aragon and Navarre appear to be at war. Let's see what that's about. That is the Mallorcan-Aragonese War. So Aragon is against Mallorca. Mallorca is actually the attacker. Stupid move by Mallorca. And Navarre joined in because they are friends in some way. They have an alliance with Navarre. So Mallorca is down here, and Navarre is up there. They're trying to fight Aragon, which Aragon is much more powerful than them. This is a bad move by both of them. And if Aragon was a rival, we could be intervening right now, but we did not declare them to be a rival, so that's not going to happen. Instead, we're going to keep along the path that we're on of trying to get Morocco. So that war is over, and let's see, Mallorca accepted a peace treaty. Yep. They gave away a lot of territory. I think it was just Mallorca, though. Let's see, yeah, down here they gave 2 of those, and then land on the continent as well. A little bit of land up here and a little bit down there. So Navarre held up fine. They annulled the treaty with Navarre, and they're paying reparations. Mallorca, really got... it was a terrible idea. They had to pay money, too. So Aragon lucked out there. That worked out pretty well to them. They got more land there. And in the meantime, we are getting closer to our 25 stability that we need to declare war over here. Before we do that, we will move our navies down here to help keep Morocco from getting any troops across the water. And no guarantees, but we are quite a bit stronger than them. Yeah, we are much stronger, much bigger and stronger. So that should be good, but it'll take a moment to get there. We did just have a pop-up that we have, Portugal. So this happens every once in a while in the game where a new ruler comes in. He's the brand new ruler, our brother-in-law, actually, and he's been the ruler for a couple of weeks now. And so we have a chance to try and steal the throne. It would be one approach, and it's something I did in a practice video, or my first look at the game video. I did an attack where we went to fight Portugal right away. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad because they don't have any... They have an alliance with Aragon, so actually that's where it would not go well. But we do have the Casus Belli to do it. Could come in here and claim the throne, but Aragon would join, and it would be 51,000 troops versus 35,000 on 2 different fronts. And they have a stronger navy than us. It would be doable, and we probably could end up taking Portugal, but I don't think I want to do it. It would be costly. It would be difficult. Let's not do it. I recommend, when you're a beginner, like I assume you are because you're watching a beginner's guide, I recommend taking really slow approaches, not trying to do too much, just really learning how to manage your estates and your economy. Those are the biggest things you need to focus on as a beginner. You're managing your internal affairs, and once you have your internal affairs, you have a good grasp on how to handle them, then you can start pushing those external things a bit harder, and you can really know how to take risks and things like that. But speaking of that, we are very close here to declaring war. So let's go ahead and get our navies in position. Gonna get all three in here. Granada will not join us in our fight because they are still disloyal. 42. So anything when they're disloyal, they will not join a war. But we are in good shape. We're gonna have our army wait in Cordoba for now. Actually, we'll have them come down here to that one. And technically, we're 24/7/8. That's not enough to declare war here. In a moment, we'll be able to. And also, we're almost at high enough spy level to get our map from Portugal if they have one. So it looks like the game on automation that set up our silver, they increased that to, actually, you know, they didn't. We've got the burgers there, so like hopefully we get more market stuff in there. We can get that increased, but very soon. Okay, there we go. We've got this now. Wow, court or parliament wants to come in. Okay, so let's pause for a moment and get that figured out. We'll have that in Burgos again, and they want to promote castle works. Sure, we can do that. And it's 50%. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, we're going to come in here and we are going to declare war against Morocco. Nobody is joining. We want to show superiority. And their vassals joined, but not too much. Okay. So now we're going to come in and we will raise the levies. Raise all levies. All the army levies. And we're going to watch. We're on a slower speed. Oh, reputation is tarnished. We can... okay, yeah, people are saying that he's a ruthless warmonger. Well, yeah, obviously, we're trying to get more territory. We can add antagonism or lose stability. We can't afford to lose the stability, and in fact, we are going to reduce how much we're spending on it because we're spending more on war. And that's going to be pretty high because, actually, we can just have it like that. And we can have... this one come down and go back to assimilating culture. Like, there's too many things here. I'm just gonna have them focus on this and get the last groups from that one each time. Okay. So now our levies are coming on. We're going to pay close attention here because they're gonna raise levies and then they're going to try to come across the water. And we're going to get all of these troops and tell them to come down here and join this army. And we're gonna watch here, and actually right away you can just come in and attack them because we've got enough troops here already. Just gonna watch. Don't want any ships coming by. We could spread out a little bit, but I'm hoping for a quick war here. If we can just take this territory, and look at that, we killed all of them. Maximum RGO size in rural, that's gonna be a big thing. So like this is a rural area, and that means that our maximum RGO size here is gonna go up. So that'll be good, and hopefully we can get more of our stuff. But anyway, we're gonna come in here. We already killed all the troops that are here, so we're gonna go ahead and... do they have any forts here? I don't think they do. No, they don't. We're gonna just carpet siege in not Granada. What is this? Andalusia. Okay, so everybody spread out, take that land, and then we just have to hold off until we have enough war score. So what we're gonna want is we want not for them to become a vassal, but we want all of this. That is going to cost 33. So actually that won't take too much. Yeah. Here we go. Just taking over land. Got provinces in the control there. That should go nice. But we're not going to send any troops over the water. Also, one thing while I'm thinking of it, if you go to diplomacy and go to manage subjects, over here and up here, you can change their strategies during battles. So like right now, Granada is not joining us in the war, but I would want them to be defensive because otherwise they're going to go out and do something stupid. But defensive means they will defend our home territories and do things to keep control of our area. Whereas aggressive would have them be going out and fighting battles without us. But you can look to see there's some of the details on a couple of those other ones. All right, we have all of this territory now. Yeah, but they're pretty happy. So we're just gonna have to wait and wait them out. So hopefully we'll get there pretty quickly. But it will take time for that to go up. Are we ticking now? So sometimes if you've won more, if you've achieved the war goal, which is to show superiority and win more battles, then you'll get a little icon here. It'll be green and it'll mean it's ticking, which means over time, the longer you have achieved the war goal, the more the war score goes in your favor while you're just kind of in the status quo. But right now, we're really trying to just sit tight. I'm going to move around a little bit and see what ships they have. I wish we could attack that. They do have a transport there, though, so we'll kind of go there, and that'll pin that transport there. We're going to keep that one there to pin anybody in that spot. And then we'll move this one over here. Is that? Yeah, that's Morocco. I don't have any ships there or in any of these spots, so that should be fine. We'll just move this back over here. So over time, we should get closer to being able to make this demand. And if we really wanted to, we could try to get money out of them, which we might be able to do. Because enthusiasm, we're going to have just fine enthusiasm. They are not happy because they have lost stuff. So I think we could do this, get as much as we can. So now we have to wait a while. It could take potentially a while to get there, but we'll see. All right, and our court agreed to fortification or promote castle works, which we got lucky because we only had 50%. We want to come in here and we want to vote yes for this, and this will give us plus 10% institution growth. So that is a pretty good one. And then again, we don't have, because we have moved all of our army apart. We are actually, honestly, I'm a little tempted to disband our levies because I'm hoping to not really need them, but it's too risky. I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to come in here, and Portugal does not have any maps for us to steal. Bummer. So other things that our spy network could do, they could create the Casus Belli, which we don't really need. So we're going to go ahead and cancel. It's not going to be worth maintaining that. That will increase what we have here because we're not going to have as many spy networks, and that will be good. Instead, once we get, actually, we're going to need a diplomat for eventually sending a peace deal. But I do want to build a spy network down here because they are, that's impassable. What is this? This is too, okay, so there we can come in here. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, there's subject of Morocco. Bummer. Okay. Cardinal has passed that religious thing. So that's part of Morocco. If we come here to diplomacy and click on Morocco, we can see that, yep, they are part of Morocco, which means we can't do anything. Are they at war here? What is this? There is a war here, occupied by Morocco. Rebellion against Algiers. So Algiers is trying to rebel. That's part of why Morocco has not been fighting us, because they are distracted. But we might have to drop our gold demand, because otherwise this is going to take a long time. War enthusiasm, our war score actually isn't high enough also. So we should come in here and we're going to take a risk and try and blockade a little bit, which blockading will increase a tiny bit here. We've got a couple blockades going, and that we want to come down here, I think. Move this blockade over to here, and move this one down to here. And that, this one actually brings down a city there. There's a city there, and there's a city down here, but we can't get down there yet. I guess we'll leave the other one over here. That might give us 3 blockades. It will give those transports a way past us. Yep, look at that. We're going to try to fight them, and that gave us war score. We sunk those transports. Beautiful. You are going to come back down here. That gave us a little bit more war score. We need to get to 10 before we can demand anything, and that is the problem that we are going to have. We might have to do something about that. When we're ready, when we have... see, I think we're going to have to lose this part. Let's bring this back down. Just do the bare minimum. 27. What we could do is we could take out one of these. But the problem is that, like, if we take that out, that lowers the demand. But either way, we still have to have 10% here. We need to win another battle. Okay, our diplomats with Portugal and Aragon have improved as much as they can, and they have to come back home. So they can only go up to like 200 on there. So that's one issue. Right here, there's another transport. I think we're going to need to transport some troops. Oh, here's an army. So, I mean, what we can hope for is now they've settled their civil war, and they're going to be able to focus more on us. They only have 14,000 troops, though. If we raise our naval levies, we will have the transports to get our troops across the water, and then we might be able to get the war score up high enough to achieve this goal. So we're going to pause, and we're going to come into navies, and we're going to raise. We get 4 of them. That's not a lot. And there's one there, one up there, actually. Okay. So we get 3 ships here. See how many troops can fit on each one, and then we can go from there. All right. So fishing boats, they can fit a whopping 200 troops, actually. That's not bad. So we can get, it's only going to go like 800 at a time with our 4 naval levies. Let that join in there, and now we're going to have to get some cogs again. Cogs are going to cost 18 gold each, though, but they will fit 250 people. If we're only sending 800 across, this is a risky thing that we're doing. But we are... Okay, we can get fortification expert for 10 years. Fort building costs will go down everywhere. Or it can stay in that one city and it will have better defense. Let's do it everywhere. So all of these we're at war with, I think. No, Tunis, no, we're not at war with them. We're at war with, these are their vassals right now. So if we fight, it has to be Morocco. Unfortunately, they have a lot of troops. All right, well, let's station our transport here. And we'll give this a try. You'll see what war is like here. Our diplomatic capacity went up. That's good. Let's see here. Let's take a look really quick here. We're going to come right across to here. Yes, automatically transport. We've got, there we go, coming over here. And they'll sit tight there, and then these guys should be able to get across there. And bring the Navy in there too. That's not what I wanted to see here. Does the galley have capacity too? Those are the sailors. Or no, that's the levies. So we can fit a little bit. Come on, guys. Go across the water. Try and win this war, guys. Okay, so I determined that it seems we couldn't tell them to come here, but I told them to come over here instead, and hopefully we will see a little bit of progress here. Let's see if they're not boarding the ships for some reason. By the way, this, if you zoom in really close, you can see other ships in your waters. I don't know. We might have to build the cogs. Okay, let's go in and we'll build 1 cog. How long is it going to take? Almost a whole year to build that, which is really, really annoying. But we don't have any other way to get across. The cogs, I don't know why we're not seeing much progress here. If we do 1 set of feudal levies and go across, theoretically it should be going right over here, but it's not taking them on, which is really weird, because normally what you do is you just right click and tell it to go ahead and it will move them, but it's not doing it for my levies right now. You know, one way we're going to save money, though, is we're going to lower our fort maintenance because we're fighting an offensive war and we're not letting anybody get in here anyway, so it's not worth it. But I am anxious for this to get built. Okay, in the meantime, Aragon is at war here as part of the 100 Years' War, so that has started, and Aragon is on the side of England. Aragon and Mallorca are fighting together, actually. Again, and England, and that's pretty much the biggest parts here. Stability, I want here. Troop strength. Yeah, Aragon is actually one of the bigger groups there, but France has like 3 times as many troops, so that is... France is taking some of Aragon, and that is a little bit risky because France could actually take some of Aragon's land in the 100 Years' War, and that would be really frustrating. I wonder if our guy here could do anything. Nope. He's gonna continue to build that up so he can... Oh, and now we have the Black Death has appeared. So now we have... This is gonna be a big deal. We don't want to lose population if we can avoid it. If we do that, that's not going to do a ton of gum. Oh, bummer. We're going to get more remedies. Prices are going to go up, but it's not going to do much. Hospital will. And how much is it going to cost to build a hospital? Hospitals cost 132, and they require 100 clerics. So actually we could get that in a lot of places. Might save some of our people here. If we mass build, how come it won't? I want to build one in Sevilla, but it won't. If we right click, yep, it's doing it. Okay. You can only have a maximum of 1 there. Let's max build Burgos, and then we're out of money. We're going to take out the loans, and we're going to build 1 more hospital because it is critical. Where else do we have the most people? Actually, let's get it here. Well, maybe our capital, though. Capital has the biggest tab space, so we'll go ahead and do that. So that is that. In the meantime, our COG is still going, and we're not able to make our demand here. We can't sue for peace because we don't quite have enough there. And our war score, we need it to be over 10. But we're not getting up to 10 because they're not sending any ships out into the water. So, and we don't have any troops over there. So even though we've held all this land all this time, we're technically not able to make any demands out of them. But hopefully that will change as soon as that COG is done. Okay. We do have an option to share maps with... Okay, we want improve with neighbors. We can share maps with Granada, and we can gain... Oh no, that's just going to give them a map. I really don't want that. I want people to give me a map. And we could separate sue for peace, but these are... Yeah. We're at war with them? They won't accept it. Why? Why not? I want to go... I want that. But that's not going to work. Apparently, are they free now? Oh, they're a disloyal subject. So they will do stuff. Okay, so we can go ahead and enact this policy, which will increase our efficiency and move us towards centralization, which will be fine. No, we're going to move plus 10 towards centralization. I think we're going to move towards decentralization and gain stability. And we have a new policy here. We want to move to traditional law. Yeah, although that's going to be a huge... Any of these will be a huge hit to stability. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to wait for this COG to be done. We've got another thing here, another book, and we can spend money to get population growth to go up, which would be good, or we can banish the person. I guess we'll spend the money on that. Our COG is about done. Okay, the COG is done. Move them over here. And in fact, let's have these armies join. Okay, well, here. You are going to join one of these. Okay, we're gonna do that. You are going to move here. Okay, I think I got it. So, our army here needed to have 1,000 transport capacity. And now, and then I combined all of our army, all of our stuff, so that now we can come over here and we can come in. We want this army. No, it won't join any of these. Cannot move here as it is only possible to disembark into adjacent cities. Okay. That's a bummer because that means we have to go to a city. And we don't have... I don't know where their army is. Over here might be the best spot. Let's bring the boat down here, actually. We'll do this. We're going to bring our 1,000 troops down to here and hope that there are no Moroccans here. And then we're going to say confirm to that. And they're going to go back and get 1,000 at a time. And hopefully these guys... Oh, actually, while we're at it, we can steal more maps. Nope, not so discontent. I want to steal maps. And we want to go here. One of these. Ethiopia. Here, we could get Timbuktu. Oh, look at that. We can get all the way down here. Ghana. Be able to do that. Yeah, and we've got stuff. Very good. Okay. We're going to focus on this. We just need to get to 10%. And once we're at 10%, we should be able to... So once we take this city, we're going to try and sue for peace immediately before their troops get over here to kill us. There, we got it. We don't have a diplomat for a couple more weeks. Okay, hold tight, guys. More troops are coming. And we've got this. War score is above 0 or above 10. Come on, 20th of April. 4 more days. We just have to hold out for 4 days. We did it. There. Coalition has disbanded. Oh, we have another daughter. All of these troops need to come back home now. All of this, you guys need to... Let's go back there for now. And the rest of you are going to go back to... Yeah, go up there to Sevilla. And we're going to come in here and we're going to pause and go to Granada. And we're going to subject action. We're going to cede province. Give you that. And I don't want to give you all of that. How much of that is under your culture? Just one more. These 2 locations there. Just those 2. Seed location. This one. And this one. You won't let me seed that. That's the one I want to seed you. We will give them that. Yes. All right. So now Granada has more territory. And they should be. I mean, we haven't done too much, but that might be from the diplomatic move. Where are you going? Why are you going over? You're going to walk all the way around? No. No, no, no. You knights are going to come up here. Why can't... Come on. Get up here. These guys. I tell you, that sometimes the game is so weird. And stop walking, guys. Come up here. Get on this boat. And get off on the other side. But I'm pretty happy here. We can pause it and we can call it a day for this